Hi there, everybody. I am Steve Szumanski, the Instructional Technology Coach for Wyandotte Public Schools, and I'm here today to talk about a kind of a hidden gem, I think, which is the Flashcard Factory tool that is a part of Peardeck. Now, maybe you've used Peardeck to make your Google Slides interactive. Flashcard Factory is a totally separate tool. It's completely free to use. It's kind of tucked away on the Peardeck website to find. The easiest way I found it was by Google searching Flashcard Factory, and then it'll take you to this page here, letting us get started with the Peardeck Flashcard Factory. This is a great way to make learning vocabulary fun, engaging, collaborative, competitive, all sorts of awesome things that your students are going to love. Anytime I see it in the classroom, I love to hop in and check it out. So let's dive into the tool, show you the teacher side first, and then we'll switch over to kind of the student side so you got an idea of what that will look like as well. So when I'm on the Flashcard Factory or website or the Peardeck website, you're going to want to go ahead and log in as a teacher. So if you don't have a Peardeck account, you do have to create one. Again, you can create one for free. Once you've got one created, you can log in here and you'll see this page. We're going to go ahead and get started with a fresh Flashcard Factory. You can see some of my Google Drive files are down here that we could open past ones. Peardeck is going to save all the flashcard vocab we create in a folder called Peardeck on our Google Drive. So that's where you could find it in the future. For this activity, we're going to start fresh with a new Flashcard Factory. And then it has this screen for the teacher to start to create their vocabulary list. So we're going to go ahead and call this our demo list. And we need to start adding some terms and adding some definitions to this. You can also import if you've got a pre-made list of vocabulary ready to go, which I'm sure many of you will have. They also have some vocabulary lists here that we can access and get to. So say, for instance, I'm in grade 2, I go in here, I can see some of the basic words that they have. I'm just going to grab kind of these first 5, maybe that's what we want to work on. So I'm going to copy those, get us back over to our Flashcard Factory. And then I can import by pasting that list. And you can see that list is there and ready to go. I can also add any term I want. So maybe argument, along that line, we do maybe disagreement. And then I could type a definition myself, or I can click this definition button. It's going to search Merriam-Webster's dictionary for some definitions we can easily drop in from there. So you can create however many you want. Probably 5 to 10 is how much you want to keep these kind of narrowed down to depending on grade level. And really that's all the teacher prep that goes into it, is creating your vocab list with terms and definitions. You can close this and it'll be saved in your Google Drive for you to access later if you want to. You can get a share link and you can share this out. You do have to publish it and then share it, so that's the steps with that. It's not the most convenient way to share with your colleagues, but it is an option that you have. But now let's go ahead and let's start playing Flashcard Factory to see what this will look like. Once we've got this, we see this screen here. I'm going to say OK, and now students will go to this page, joinpd.com, and type in that code. So I'm going to switch my windows here to my demo account, and we're going to join pd.com, the code PMPYOF. We have to sign in with Google, so your students will need to have a Google account to participate in this. That is just because it's kind of saving everything through Google, so you need to have access to that. Once all of my students are in, I can see one person has joined. I'm going to go ahead and clock in and get this started. So Peardeck Flashcard Factory works by breaking the class up, breaking the participants up into 2 groups. They call it the day shift and the night shift. When you've got multiple people playing, as long as you have, I guess, at least 4, it's going to partner students up. So when we do this in the classroom, or I've even done this with staff, it will randomly partner them up. So they don't have to worry about picking a partner or choosing who it's going to be. It'll partner the students up so that they share the workload going through this activity. You can shuffle the teams if you see something that you're like, ooh, that one's really not going to work. Let's shuffle it and try it again. But I'm going to go ahead and start playing this. Now, all the teacher screen will see is this until you're ready to call it quits. You have this going, and you've got kind of a sample of what's happening and what's going on. The student screen will see this. Now, if they're working with a partner, the way it'll work is that one person is going to draw an example and one person is going to use that word in an example sentence. It splits the workload between those two partners. So in the classroom, sometimes I'll have the partners sit next to each other. Sometimes it's fun not to have them sit next to each other just to see what they come up with and how they can work from that. It's really up to you and what you want to do here. So if I have here, draw an example of above, I can draw, say there's an X here, boop, and an O. So now the X is above the O. Maybe I put like an arrow to highlight that that's what I'm kind of showing. And then I say, okay, I'm done drawing. And now we have to do that example sentence. So you can see Flashcard Factory uses, if you're familiar with the Frayer Model, it's kind of a play off of that, where it's having students give them a term, a definition, an example, and a drawing. And it helps to get that repetition and that pattern in their brain. So if I do above in a, or higher to a place, as I get all jumbled up there, so I'm going to say the light is above me. I'm done writing. They get a sample then, so if they were a partner, they would see what their partner drew, what the example sentence was. They can change it if they want to, but we're going to say that looks good, let's ship it out, and then it gives them the next word. Students would then work through all the vocab they have, so you can see why 5 to 10 words is probably a good sample size to work with. The teacher then will see that here's this example going down the line. We've got 1 out of our 6 terms completed. This would all be given and assigned out randomly. So I'm not going to go through all 6 terms in the interest of time here. But then when the teacher has said, okay, we've got enough, we're good, we're ready to go, let's go to the quality control phase. Now this is where as a class, you get to see all of the examples that were created and you get to decide if it's worth keeping or worth getting rid of. So when I've done this in a class, you maybe try and say, okay, we're going to go through, maybe you only try to keep a couple of each word just so that you don't have an overabundance here. If there's something inappropriate, you can see for the most part, this is anonymous, but if I take my mouse over a drawing, it will let me know who was the artist and who was the writer. So if there was one that's inappropriate, maybe I can sneakily look at that and see. But then we can decide, okay, this one looks good. It gives that group a point. And then since that was the only one we've got, we went through everything. We're all set. We've made an amazing set of vocab. What do we do with that now? Well, I can print this set and it will give us a PDF that I can now print out and have it, where it's got the word and then it's got that drawing and that definition and example right there for the students ready to reference and go to. So it's a great way to come up collaboratively with classroom vocab and to help them learn and get these vocabulary skills that we need to address and cover. And if I had more than one example for above, this is where I would see all of those examples kind of coming up here. You can also export it to Gimkit and get that. That's something for another day, but you can do that to have some extra review with your students. And if at any point you, the teacher, need to kind of access this set after the fact, so I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to leave this factory. You get to name that, so we can name this our demo lesson. I'm going to save and leave the factory. I can then get back to this if I need to from the Peardeck homepage. By going to my sessions, I can see that demo lesson with that demo list that we went into. I can click on this and it'll reopen that, and I've got access to all of those materials right there for reference. So I love Flashcard Factory. Anytime I do it with students, they love it. It's engaging, interactive, fun, collaborative, all these great things. It's a great way to put a spin on vocab to make it a little more exciting for our students. So hopefully this crash course in Flashcard Factory was helpful. Give it a try. Let it see how it goes. If you have any questions for me, I'll drop my email here as well. I'll be happy to help out. But have a wonderful day, everybody, and thanks for watching.